Ba-ba-ba-boo-ba-ba-dee-bow.
All right.
That changes it a smidge.
You did.
Yeah.
All right, welcome.
You got to allow me some artistic creativity here.
Hey, you've got your own mic over there.
I do.
Just saying. All right, welcome. Welcome to Green Light and Banter.
Hello.
Today is
Not a clue.
August 29th, 2024.
The year of our Lord.
Yep, today is episode 33.
Doesn't seem like it.
So we're proclaiming this is the second season.
Are we?
Yep, second season of Green Light and Banter. Who knew? I mean, we could have had more seasons.
Had we got on it sooner?
Well, no. Like, what's the show? Survivor. They're like in their 30th season.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
And somebody out there is responsible for this.
how is that?
Somebody keeps tuning in.
I guess it's not been 30 years that they've been on,
Yeah.
but they've had 30.
Seasons. Well, it's like Deadliest Catch. I mean, it seems like that started when I had a UHF dial on my TV.
What's wrong with that?
Have you watched Deadliest Catch? Now,
It's kind of the same thing.
It is. We're in danger of not catching the crabs. What are we going to do? We're going to lose.
Oh, we caught the crabs.
Look, we caught the crabs. Let's head on back. Nothing wrong with it. It's just I stopped.
I think it's been oversold. It's like all of those shows, or a lot of them, whereas they give you the little cliffhanger and commercial.
Yeah.
And then they come back, and then after the commercial, the first 5 minutes, they replay what they did.
Yeah.
So it could be a 15-minute show.
It always goes to the commercial with somebody yelling about, you're thinking a pod sliding on deck and is going to kill someone. A commercial break. We hear about laxatives and
Or it's a
whatnot.
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes back, it's nothing of the sort. Anyways.
Well, I'd like to say welcome to our new subscribers.
Hey.
Yeah. So it appears that the YouTube channel has done pretty well. I feel that it's underwhelming compared to some people who get 4 million views on their first video.
Yeah, well,
How's that happen?
I have no
They
idea.
figured out the algorithm.
I guess. I don't know. We're just
I may invest a little time in that this weekend. We have a 3-day weekend. Happy Labor Day.
speaking of holidays. We've done shows about holidays in the past.
We have
Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving. This is a big holiday weekend
It is for many reasons.
for one reason in particular.
So I don't know if you know this,
I know everything.
but Saturday is the season opener
Yep.
for the University of Tennessee Volunteers football.
College football.
Yep. So last week was the opening game.
Yes, it was
Florida State,
Florida State lost.
Georgia Tech.
Florida State lost to Georgia Tech.
Well, I don't know if that's completely laughable. I mean, Georgia Tech has won national championships.
It wouldn't be laughable if, okay, couple things here. It wouldn't be laughable if, A, they didn't come off a season where they were undefeated and didn't even make the playoff and were moaning about it for the entirety of the playoffs. Then also,
Oh, you're referring to Florida State?
yeah, then also on game day, there was a sign basically of Blake Burke, the baseball player that is now with the Milwaukee Brewers, but
Came to Tennessee.
yeah, and we beat Florida State in the World Series, and it came down to a very close call on a check swing from Blake Burke that would have ended the game, and they called it a ball, and they didn't swing, and there was a sign on game day that said he swung. This was a picture of Blake Burke, so I was like, you know what? No,
Yeah, no sympathy.
no sympathy. You got everything you deserve, Florida State.
But didn't they have a similar event happen with the check swing? One of their players did the same thing.
I don't remember. I don't think. I don't know.
I think so. The same game.
I got that game on my DVR still.
Watch. We should rewatch it.
I've been trying to clear out space.
What a fantastic season.
Something that's psychotic. I've been clearing out space on my DVR, and
what do you have, the deadliest catch on there?
no, but because the whole point for me is eventually I'm going to be one of the last in America to actually cut the cord. And
you still have cable?
I still have cable. I'm
like an actual wire?
No, I guess there's a wire, but it's a HDMI cable that goes to my TV.
So is there a wire that comes into your house?
Yeah.
Like a cable wire?
A cable wire, yeah. I know, I got to get off that, but I'm clearing stuff off the whole point.
Skibbity?
The whole point that's why I've been going back on my DVR to clear off things. Do you know what the very earliest thing I have on my DVR?
The first episode of The Walking Dead.
You know what? I've not seen one episode of The Walking Dead, so I don't have that.
Okay.
We're not going to do the guessing game because you'll never guess it.
No, you can tell me.
Yeah, it's I want to say it was like 2008. It was the game
2008.
I think. I'm probably wrong here, but it was when Bruce Pearl was our coach, and we went and played Memphis, and it's still the number 1 rated college basketball game on ESPN ever.
Who'd we play?
Memphis with number 1 versus number 2.
Oh yeah,
and we won. Was
that Chris Lofton's? Was he playing?
Yeah, it was a Chris Lofton team. It was still on my DVR.
You should save it.
It's deleted.
I was going to say, if for nothing else, the massive shorts that they were wearing at the time.
It was fantastic. It's fantastic.
The shorts?
Yeah, I'd much rather see that than what they're out there in now.
No, it's athletic gear.
It looks like now they're ready to do like a car wash or something.
So let's think about it. People make fun of cyclists in their cycling uniform.
Yeah.
Kit, costume.
Yeah.
Tight. It's functional. You don't need extra fabric.
Okay, but can I say that I am annoyed seeing people that are riding down the streets and have like sponsorships on their shirt? They're not sponsored.
No, they're just buying the jerseys and stuff.
Yeah, but I saw one.
I have a bunch of them.
We'll discuss that at a later date.
One of my favorite is...
don't say the USPS one.
No, I don't have that one. I did want that, though, because Lance Armstrong...
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted that. I loved it. But, well, I won't tell you.
You ever seen Bill, the comedian Bill Burr?
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen his stance on Lance Armstrong? It's fantastic. Basically...
No.
He was basically like, what's the big deal with all of it? He said, y'all are just mad our roided up guy beat your roided up guys. And people are like, well, it's funny hearing him mock them, talking about the bracelet and everything. It's like, he said they were talking about how big of a scam it was. He goes, yeah, it was such a big scam. He raised $500 million for cancer research.
Yeah, he's an awful guy.
Yeah, terrible
guy.
Yeah, terrible guy. But anywho.
So they took away all of his victories.
Yeah.
Guess what?
He won them.
He still won.
Yes, he did still win them. It's like when they took away Reggie Bush's Heisman trophy. Well, I sat there and watched him tear up
Didn't they give it back, though?
Just this past year.
Why?
Why did they give it back or why did they take it?
Both.
They took it because, like a family, I think I want to say his dad got a house from a booster, and so he would have been ineligible. But now over the years, with all the paying of players anyways, they're like, well, hindsight, let's give it back to him now that the rules have changed so.
Well, I can kind of see that, but the rules are the rules.
Rules are the rules.
At the time.
Yeah.
But it's laughable now to think about that.
Right.
Like Johnny Manziel and his T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
Jeez. Really?
Jeez Louise.
I mean, people. Well, anyway. So, the topic. What's on you, James?
Well, and I only did this because of the crud you were giving me last time about not coming up with the topic. So I thought,
Wow. Okay, go ahead.
you're about to defend yourself on the crud, right?
No.
Okay. So I thought, let's do a preview. And this is going to be a very pointed topic, but let's do a preview on the upcoming SEC football season.
Yeah, and
I could do the entire nation, but
for the non-Southern people, that's the Southeastern Conference.
For people that don't follow sports, if you don't know what the SEC is, then sorry.
What would you? I would dare to say it's the most dominant conference in
America.
College sports.
Yeah, in all
Not just
sports.
football.
Yeah, no, baseball. I mean, basketball,
Fishing.
Fishing. Year in and year out, it switches from basketball. I mean,
Baseball,
oh, absolutely. Baseball's the most dominant. SEC's the most dominant.
track and field.
Probably. I mean,
Gymnastics.
Arkansas wins national title after national title in track and field.
Gymnastics,
As far as I know, it's
swimming,
you're not letting me respond to any of these.
golf,
I don't know.
Tennis?
I have no idea.
rugby,
Sure. I don't know.
rowing.
No. Big 12.
Well, we know why.
Yeah, because we don't have. I mean, Tennessee's in the Big 12 for rowing. I dare guess, or crew. I dare guess Ivy Leagues are probably pretty good.
I love that sport.
I wish Tennessee would have dropped it.
And had a gymnastics team.
I would have a gymnastics and a bass fishing. Gymnastics for the girls, bass fishing for the.
Girls can't bass fish.
I'm not saying that at all.
Dudes don't gymnastics.
Dudes do gymnastics, but they don't in college.
What? How do they get into the Olympics?
They practice.
They get no respect, and then
They're-
suddenly,
Yeah, I think most of them isn't it before college.
I don't know.
Yeah, but anyways,
I've derailed the topic.
oh, it's really we don't even have to stick to it. Honestly, I mean,
All right, so I started the timer, as per the rules.
just now
Yeah,
we've been talking for.
that's how we always do it.
Okay, so we got the SEC season up and coming. It's more or less a preview of what we can expect, I guess. Top to bottom.
Controversies. So I'll drop something from the beginning.
Okay.
Something that's changed since last year.
Okay.
Nick Saban retiring.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
So what's it gonna look like for Alabama?
I think this year they'll be good. I think we'll see the guy from Washington, he can't keep up that recruiting pace. There's no way. I mean, he's gotten some recruits in for this latest class, but that's still riding the steam of the pile of Nick Saban left behind.
Right, but he does have some credit or credibility for Penix.
Yeah. Of course, a few schools can have. I mean, did you know Penix originally committed to Tennessee?
I mean, everybody does.
Nobody.
And then the other teams give him more money. Happens every time.
Well, I don't know.
Where did he go? Where did he live before he went? Was he from the South?
I don't know what state he was from. You know what? I have so dropped recruiting following. Like back in the day, I could have hung with anybody in recruiting knowledge.
Yeah.
But now that the whole landscape has changed,
You can't keep up with it.
yeah, I decided how I'm going to follow college football in Tennessee primarily is I'm just not going to pay attention to the transfer portal and recruiting, and then whoever they field on the field in the season is who I'm going to root for. Because as stressed out and perturbed as I'd used to get when you'd follow a recruit and then he decommits and commits to another school. These days, I wouldn't be able to deal with it.
You can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
It's akin to the NFL these days where there's no longevity in.
No,
I mean some, but a little, but not like in the past where
it's basically what everybody thought the NFL was going to become when free agency was introduced. And to a large extent, it has become that. And it really has taken away the one thing that I truly loved about college football. Because I remember I was visiting my family up in Chicago, or just outside Chicago in Barrington. And we went to I want to say it was a cookout in Milwaukee or Wisconsin somewhere. It was at one of his friends' house. Yeah. And I was basically arguing with everybody about which was better, college or pro, because it was a pro town.
Sure.
And pro area, which I was in. And my main argument was that the players that come from your college team, you're far more loyal to and are loyal to your school than the players that for a brief time plays for your NFL team. I was like, you have everybody was either a Bears or Packers fan in that room. I'd say so-and-so wide receiver signs with your team on a 5-year deal. Then all of a sudden he'll go to your rival. Like, you can't have the same loyalty to that player as a player that goes to your school for 5 years, 4 or 5 years. And even when he goes to play for 3 or 4 teams in the NFL,
you still follow him.
He's still donning the Tennessee or Alabama or Georgia or what have you gear throughout his entirety of his career. I still remember seeing Reggie White. I don't know if he's playing for the Eagles then or for the Packers, but doing an interview and had his sitting on a couch and had his arms up like this, and across the whole thing from one sleeve to the next, it just said Tennessee. That's cool. But that's sort of left. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, he was a franchise player for both of those teams.
Oh yeah,
he was there for so long.
Yeah, he was
right.
Yeah, one of my first posters was Reggie White when he was with the Eagles, the Minister of Defense poster. It was fantastic.
Yeah, life cut too short.
Life cut too short. But derailed the topic, I guess.
Yeah, you did. You derailed your own topic.
We're probably not gonna stick to the topic. But
okay, so I was reading, and we talked about this schedules, most difficult schedules in the country. Mm-hmm. So the source I read, the most difficult schedule this year belongs to Florida.
It is.
So Florida was in there, Oklahoma maybe, Georgia, Alabama. But the thing that I found interesting was all of those teams, they listed their difficult games. Tennessee was in there. Mm-hmm. But Tennessee didn't make the difficult schedule top 10.
It doesn't help we kick off the season with a Division II school.
Yeah, but I mean, Alabama plays Troy every year.
But Troy's Division I, right?
Well, they probably are.
Yeah,
now.
they're Division I, and it's a big.
Yeah, but we're playing Chattanooga, which is essentially our own college.
Yes, it is.
It is part of the University of Tennessee.
It is, and I'd much rather give the money to the UTs, the UTCs, the Tennessee Techs, the UT Martins, all the schools that
University of the South. How many schools are in the University of Tennessee complex now?
I mean, I doubt Austin P or Sewanee and all that's in it.
Sewanee is part of the UT now. Aren't they the University of the South, Sewanee?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Not Austin P, though. Martin.
Yeah, that's UT Martin.
Memphis, Martin, Tullahoma, the space area.
Good old Tullahoma.
Do you know people from Tullahoma?
Yes, my mom.
Do they have land down there?
We used to have land in Tullahoma. My mom was essentially, after they left Oak Ridge, was raised in Tullahoma.
It's good. It's a good town.
I love Tullahoma.
I like saying it.
They have the best, one of my favorite spots in America. Rutledge Falls.
Is it named for David Rutledge?
I have no idea, but if I ever won any money or came into money, I'd go buy that and shut it down to the public as quick as I could.
How could you buy it?
It's privately owned.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they let people on there?
They, out of the goodness of the heart, let people in there, and then people litter. See, I would buy it and shut it down, and I know people would come there and be like, hey, we need to go swimming. And sorry, everybody ruined it. Get on.
You ruined it, buddy.
Get to jogging.
You ruined it.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Oh, my
Football?
thought. Well, we were talking Alabama.
Yeah, and then we talked about Florida's schedule.
Yeah, my thought is he can't keep that recruiting up. So I think this season they're going to be good. I'd say they'll be 10-2, 11-1.
Who's going to beat them?
I'd have to see their schedule.
Tennessee?
I hope. But I'd say gradually they'll kind of start coming back to the pack. I mean, it's all cyclical, especially the Tennessee-Alabama rivalry. I mean, it'll go
10 years.
12 years.
Yeah,
then we should hopefully go on a run against them pretty soon. But this year, though, it's Georgia. Georgia's going to be dominant again, and they're on the blue chip factor. I think they're pretty high up there.
You think Georgia got screwed last year on the? Oh, something to think about. The new college playoffs this year.
12-team.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Hopefully Tennessee can get in there, but if they don't, I suspect Nico's following season he'll be
Heads out.
He'll be good enough to make it there.
You think he'll leave?
I think we got him for 2 seasons, and then he'll probably be going pro.
Go to the NFL?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else we got on the bench for quarterback?
Well, we've got the kid from that transferred in from Central Florida that played for Heupel down there. He's like a 5th-year senior, Gadsden. They say he's been doing real well in camp.
So would he be the backup at this point?
Well, I don't know because we have the 4-star from Georgia. Having trouble remembering. It's I think it's McIntyre. If something happened to Nico, hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully Gadsden Moore can do it, so that way they can redshirt this kid. But coming behind him, we got a 5-star out of Nashville, and then coming behind him, we have a 5-star out of North Carolina, the number 1 player in the country, Faison Bradley. So we in 2 years, we're going to have the best quarterback room in the nation, I think. And I think we got one of the best wide receiver rooms in the nation this season.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty solid.
It is stacked. I mean, it is stacked.
Yeah, but I mean, you think about that. You get back to the quarterback. You know, you got all-star quarterback bench. You're going to pull in the receivers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to want to come, and we're pulling in the tight ends.
What about the backfield, running backs?
Well, we got we've got our starter is very good. Backups, we got the kid Bishop from Carnes. He's doing really well, but then hopefully Cam Selden, who's been battling injuries, hopefully he'll be ready to go. I doubt we'll see him tomorrow or Saturday, but
yeah, Saturday's going to be a tune-up.
But here's the thing with Heupel's scheming, you don't really need a blue chip. I mean, you know, Wright was very good at running back. We're going to have a good running back, but the schemes put the running backs in good positions.
Right.
So,
yeah, it opens up their running game.
Yeah.
So which game? Okay, so we got Chattanooga first, then NC State.
NC State, which is a dangerous game.
That'll be. I can't wait to watch that one.
Yeah.
I think I'll be in Canada. What am I going to do?
It will be on TV
somewhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. SEC games, Unless it's Tennessee versus Chattanooga, you're going to be able to find it. Even if you're in Canada.
Do they watch college football in Canada?
Well, they watch football. We know that.
They have Canadian football.
Yeah.
Right. So which game this season? I mean, I know one of the games I'm excited to see. You got one that piques your interest more than anything else?
Well, I'm the NC State game, because if we don't lose that, we're set up to make a decent run at it. Because I think we're going to beat Florida. I mean, Georgia and Alabama are always out there, which is the pits.
But those are still always a toss-up.
Yeah. We can win those.
I'm really excited to see the Oklahoma game.
That's huge
for many reasons. A few being we travel to Oklahoma, but Josh Heupel
heading back home.
Yep.
Yeah, heading back to where they.
So he won. He was runner up in the Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's known for Heisman runners up.
Yeah, that's what we specialize in.
Manning,
Majors,
Heath
Schuler.
Yeah, all in the mix.
The only time a defensive player ever wins the Heisman is against Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Manning deserved it though.
I wish I could bend my neck more.
I mean, he didn't.
I'd have it pointed
you think
down.
about it, he didn't really have a fantastic college career, and then basically did nothing in the NFL.
That's right.
Basically,
Manning that season, it was the Florida game. Everybody said, "Well, if we couldn't beat Florida," nobody was beating Florida that season. They put a set of goals, they being the media, in front of Manning, statistic-wise. He blew those statistics out the water. And I remember the game that won Charles Woodson the Heisman. I think it was Michigan State. And he made a one-handed catch on the sideline that it was out of bounds. So it didn't even count. But it was such a highlight reel that ESPN started running and pushing Charles Woodson highlights. So the only season a defensive player ever beat an offensive player was against a Tennessee
so is that the
legendary quarterback.
The only Heisman recipient defensive player
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was completely ridiculous. I mean, and I've had arguments with countless people about that. I'm like, no, you're not going to convince me.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem right, does it?
No, it was so stupid. It was just a blatant. That was in the height of ESPN's disregard for Tennessee. That's when they had the commercial where these grotesques get off the elevator in overalls and that's it, chasing a pig named Rocky Top. And that's when Chris Fowler.
Yeah, why was Fowler so bent?
It's because we may have had it coming because Tennessee fans, this is before Twitter. We were pretty venomous then, and now with Vol Twitter, Vol Twitter is widely regarded.
Well, that's how. Remember the Instagram chain where you were
arguing with the Purdue guy.
Yeah, you got into it with the Purdue guy.
It was so fun.
It's like which crowd base is the best, and it was Kentucky and Alabama, right?
Yeah.
And I said, how about Tennessee? Because we tend to not be.
Yeah.
And he goes, you're the worst. Everybody knows Tennessee fans are the worst.
And then you'd say something again. Then I was like, oh, let me help out here a little.
And then he was like, this, that, or the other. And you said, well, what's your team? And he goes, well, I'm not going to say because. And you go, oh, you're one of those.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I lit into him. I got to tell you, at the risk of being considered a braggart.
Oh, it's never stopped you before.
If I would have had, because on social media, I've lost my fastball. Used to, I could have got banned from any social media platform in America in a matter of minutes.
For harassment?
I've been banned for
Harassment? Did I say?
I've been banned for harassment. I've been banned for all kinds of stuff. I would have been banned with that guy had I not lost my fastball, but I wish I was my former self because when Vol Twitter got legendary was on Shiano Sunday. Because Vol Twitter basically stopped a hire of a college football coach. Nobody has done that since, before, and that's when Vol Twitter became an entity. Like people in ESPN and on the radio were talking about how undefeated Vol Twitter is, and they still do. If I had, and that was
What's it called now?
it's still Vol Twitter.
Is it?
Yeah, even though it's
Is
X.
it?
Yeah, it is. They don't call it Vol X. That's terrible. If I had still had my fastball when all that was going down, I probably would have been a legendary Vol Twitter guy. Because there's people I see on Vol Twitter that are considered legendary, and a lot of them are weak sauce. They don't go for
They're good.
They're good, but they don't go for the throat.
They're not legendary.
No.
Maybe they don't want to get banned.
Oh, then they're in it for the wrong reason. They're in it for the wrong reasons.
They don't. No, you shouldn't be in it for the longevity.
No, you're in it to burn quickly and to get banned.
Go out hot.
Oh yeah.
I'm going out hot.
Yeah. Try to create another name. Then you get. I've done it. I've been banned. I've created a different name, and I got banned for trying to circumvent a lifetime ban before with another name.
You got a lifetime ban?
I had a lifetime ban.
You and DJT? I dare not say the name.
Yeah, right. But and I dare not say what I got lifetime bans for. 'Cause it was immaturity, but it was funny.
So are the rules different now with Musk?
The rules are different in the fact that any little thing that gets reported now, you're not automatically.
They don't shut you. They don't ghost.
Yeah, no,
ghost ban you.
No, now there's still red flags that you say where they're like, yeah, we're not going to allow that.
Have you been ghost banned?
I never know what that means.
I think what it means is you think you're still posting, but it doesn't
nobody's
shows
seeing it.
up.
I think that's
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Is there nobody hearing me out there?
I've never been banned nor censored in any statement I've made online.
Oh boy, I have.
It's called couth. I can't spell it, but I think it's called couth.
Is it couth or tact?
Both?
Okay,
Tactful couth.
tactful couth.
I don't know.
That was the name of my third band.
I tend to create posts
And then
and give
delete
it the
them.
10 seconds. and
So it's
think,
essentially the old adage: if you have something to say, write it down in a letter and then put it in your nightstand.
yeah, and then you read it the next day, and if it's still
Yeah, I've started doing that. I'll post something. I'll be like, do I even want to? Because where I'm at now, I just don't even want to get into it anymore with these
no,
people.
because I think here's how I feel about it. If I wouldn't say it to you, if we're sitting at the table having dinner, I'm not going to say it online because too many people are emboldened by their online presence and they think they can just say anything about anybody.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do?
Well,
Are you going to come across the table?
That's how I would get in a lot of trouble because somebody would say some stupid bleep, and you have to put them in check on it. So then they would respond back with something they view as smart, as being as smart, and you'd be like, oh, that's your comeback, and so you'd lay it to them again. Well, after about 3 or 4 sessions, they end up reporting you. Mm-hmm. For being too harsh.
Yeah, because quite honestly, if you were face to face, it wouldn't go that far.
No, you'd smash your face.
Just like when I was in the deposition a few years ago, and the guy was impugning my credibility, my morals, my ethics, and pointing his finger at me while he was doing it.
Yeah.
And I stood up and I was going across the table. Guess what? He stopped.
Yeah. That was a crazy time. So, we've derailed completely, hadn't we?
Yeah, as usual.
Yeah. So, anyways, SEC's coming up. Alabama or Georgia's going to be number one.
What are the preseason rankings? Is Michigan number one?
Oh, top 25. I don't think Michigan's number one at all. They've got a lot of turmoil right now with the trouble with sign stealing from last season, and some players have left.
Wait, did they cheat?
Oh, they cheated. They sent somebody in disguise into stands of opposing.
Oh,
Yeah.
why would they do that? To win?
Yeah, a lot of money riding on it.
Sounds like Michigan fans.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know the top 25 by heart. I know Ohio State is expected to is the odds-on favorite to win the national title because their blue chip ratio is off the charts.
Really?
They've paid a lot of money. Like Lane Kiffin posted the other day that they've got the $20 million roster up there, and it's accounted for. $20 million they spent on that roster.
Yeah, I mean, imagine now it's all legal.
Yeah, it's all legal. Their blue chip ratio is such that I think let's just say, I'm not sure the exact amount you're allowed to keep on the roster, but let's say it's 100.
They've got 20 players?
92% of their players are 5 or 4 star.
What?
Less than 10 players on their team are 3-star or less.
What do they do? Carry the towels?
I'd say they're there for the old GPA.
Oh, you got to keep the GPA up.
Yeah, you still got to act like it's.
But they're probably those guys are getting a scholarship.
That's not the point.
Well, they're getting an education.
Are they?
I mean, isn't that why people go to college?
One would think in a perfect world. But
I guess I look at it all wrong.
That is the university where somebody said, I can't remember who said it. It was their quarterback. They basically said he majors in football. He didn't come to major in school or something like that.
I didn't come to go to school. I came to play football.
Yeah.
Why don't they just go to the NFL?
Oh, there's the rub. I wish the NFL had minor leagues, that players that didn't want to.
The G League?
Which is essentially college now. But it'd be great if there was a situation where the players didn't go through the farce of acting like that they're football. And people are like, well, that would ruin the game of college. I don't think it will. I think it'd all be relative. The 4 and 5 stars and whoever wants to go to the minor leagues can go ahead and go. College football will pick from the rest. Well, you know what? All the top schools are going to get the top players.
It's going to go back to the way it was?
Well, that's what I would like, but it never will.
Who says?
The money.
Because it's cheaper for them to keep it the way it is.
It's definitely not as lucrative to change it.
Yeah, exactly. That means it's cheaper.
Yeah. So let's just run down the list of.
Okay.
So Georgia in the SEC, Alabama is going to be a contender. People think Texas will because Texas had a good season last season and they've got a good squad, but I got to see it to believe it.
What about Oklahoma?
They're expected to be a little down this season. But I got to see it to believe it. I mean, Texas just can't come in here and say, well, we're going to compete for a title this season. How do you know?
They've not played in the conference.
You haven't been through the rigors of SEC football in your entirety of your program. I got to see you do it before I say, oh, yeah, it's going to be Georgia, Texas.
You know who I wish we'd brought back into the conference?
Who?
Tulane, the Green Wave, the old original Southern Conference.
Might as well brought Sewanee back. That's our second Sewanee reference.
I know.
Do you ever watch SEC Shorts on YouTube or?
Nope.
It's a great little channel. They do these little skits for SEC, and one time it was they were taking it was before Texas and Oklahoma came in. They were doing a show where they were taking resumes to see,
looking at resumes.
and when Sewanee came out with the leather helmet, going, "We're working on that forward pass this year, boys."
The wing.
Talking like it was like they'd go, "Oh, nerds to you."
1920.
Yeah. It's a fantastic channel. When we finally got into the top 10, couple seasons ago with Hendon Hooker was one of the greatest shorts I've ever seen.
Really?
Oh yeah, because they would have their weekly like they would do weekly meetings with the top 10 teams in the nation or in the SEC, and then it was Alabama, Georgia, and I think Kentucky was in the room because Kentucky was a top 10 team at the time, and they were all talking like giving each other heck, and all of a sudden you hear a helicopter, and like what's that? And they look down at the phone, and you see Alabama go, "Oh no!" like that. The guy comes in, Tennessee comes in. He's got an old Tennessee starters jacket because, last time we were in top 10, probably starter jackets were a thing. He's rolling up his sleeve. It's all in slow motion. He sits down at the table, and everybody's just pissed that Tennessee's back. It's fantastic.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great to get back to that? I mean, I think about my childhood as a Tennessee fan with football, consistently top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5 program in the country,
Oh,
all-time wins.
Oh, yeah.
30 years, man. We've just...
It's just...
People have forgotten.
And people on Tennessee's message boards and Vol Twitter and everything have been arguing for forever. And the first thing people say was, well, you shouldn't got rid of Fulmer. Well, it was on its way down. To say it wasn't, you're just in denial. So, yeah, they needed to make a change from Fulmer.
But they couldn't stop.
And I was awful. I want to say if you ask anybody that I know, I was in fact, people would give me heck back in our car rehab days. I was Lane Kiffin before he even was brought up, before we even got rid of Fulmer. I said, let's get rid of Fulmer. Let's get Lane Kiffin. He's going to recruit. We're going to be great. He's going to bring Monty Kiffin and all that. And that's what happened. I thought, oh, wow, this is going to be great. Nobody could have foreseen that
my dream job.
Yeah, that dude would have left for Seattle and left. And
why was USC Kiffin's dream job?
Because he's a Southern California guy. He played for Fresno State.
Well, that's where he grew up.
Yeah,
I guess because Monty was.
And so I didn't blame him for leaving, but after one season, what I thought was stick around for a few seasons.
He didn't even make it one season.
Yeah. In a few seasons, that job probably would have opened back up. So Kiffin left. What Tennessee should have done. We had
Fulmer back.
Well, we had Kippy Brown as the interim head coach while we searched.
Yeah.
It was late in the searching season because NFL ended so much later than college. So everybody had already found their coach. So we should have had Kippy coach the next season instead of rushing into the Derek Dooley hire. Derek Dooley, obviously, best press conferences ever when he was doing his World War II references, talking about where's Rommel having the
he did wear the orange pants pretty religiously.
I like the orange pants. And I thought he was going to be good at first because I thought, hey, he's an athletic director at Louisiana Tech and head coach. Obviously a smart fella. It's in his blood.
Grew up in it.
Yeah, Vince Dooley. I thought, yeah, this is going to be good. Didn't work out. Got Butch. Butch had a couple decent seasons.
Brick by brick?
Yeah, but it wasn't a sustainable system.
There was no recruiting.
Yeah, no recruiting. There was I don't know if this was Derek Dooley or Butch, but one recruiting cycle, we recruited 0 offensive linemen. You got to recruit 3 or 4.
Do you need them?
No, they're overrated. So that was a big.
Are they the guys that protect the quarterback?
Sometimes.
Okay.
So then after Derek Dooley or after Butch left, Jeremy Pruitt. Well, of course, that was the whole Shiano Sunday where we shut that down.
Right.
And then
what happened to Shiano?
He's coaching back. He's back at Rutgers now. Mm-hmm. They're average at best. Then Curry, who our athletic director at the time, who even though he did this, I'll forever give him a pass because he brought Tony Vitello to the fold. Curry basically went dark, turned off his cell phone from the donors and the boosters, and went out and, which I was happy with this hire. He hired technically Mike Leach. Now, we would be mourning Mike Leach right now, but, I thought, well, I'd like to see what Mike Leach can do with Tennessee's facilities. And he's kooky like Vol Nation is kooky. And but the fact that Curry did it without the boosters go ahead, all those hurt egos, basically fired Curry. And that's when Fulmer came in and hired Jeremy Pruitt. Terrible hire. Awful hire. And so
all right.
It was just one bad decision after another.
All right. All right.
It was all right. I know it was aight.
Aight.
And that was, you hear that with Nick Saban. The dude's just trying to be Nick Saban.
Aight.
Did you know he's a pretty renowned poker player, though? He was in the World Series of Poker.
Pruitt?
Yep.
Good for him.
Yeah. Now he's back in high school.
Yeah.
So,
wouldn't it be fun to be a high school coach?
It'd be fun to be a bad college football coach.
It would be. It'd be lucrative.
You get paid to be terrible, which that'd be pretty sweet.
We're probably still paying Butch Jones.
Who knows? He can't win at Arkansas State. Everybody ever has won at Arkansas State. I don't remember a coach other than Butch Jones that hadn't put together successful seasons at Arkansas State. Gus Malzone.
It's a training ground for head coaches.
The guy that he's now the OC at Arkansas, but when he's a head coach at Arkansas, he wrecked his motorcycle. And
he was good.
Yeah, Bobby Petrino. And
Bobby.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyways, looking forward to college football. I know we didn't really stick to the SEC rundown. I'll just give the quick rundown. Georgia, Alabama, I guess Texas will be up there. Hopefully we'll be up there. The middling programs, Kentucky, Missouri,
South Carolina.
LSU's going to be up there with us, but they may be teetering towards the middle, and they're kind of middle and upper tier this season.
Vandy?
As bad as it gets. And, I feel bad for Clark Lee, their head coach. He seems like a decent enough fella.
Yeah.
But it's bad during the SEC media days. I was watching Paul Feinbaum, and he had Clark Lee on and basically says to him, when you have to do the pity interview on a coach, everybody's rooting for you. It's like, oh, man,
we're all pulling for you, coach.
But the thing is, he's a Vandy alum. Who's Vandy really going to get? They keep firing their coaches thinking, oh, we're going to hire another, what's his name up at Penn State?
Yeah.
James Franklin. That was a lucky hire. If Clark Lee wants to have the job, let him have the job. Let baseball run your athletic department. Even though that's coming to an end thanks to, not me, but
Vandy boys.
Vandy boys. Thanks to Tony Vitello and the Vols, that's coming down the pikes for them. But
every season.
I feel bad for Vandy sometimes, but I don't even know if there's a couple last season or the season before they were started working on their stadium like a month before the season started. Like their season, they had their scoreboard, their giant dad blame scoreboard
on the ground.
No, it was on two chains on cranes. So just
swinging.
Yeah, when the wind would blow, it'd be doing this. And so
I feel like Vandy should be not in our conference.
I feel like Vandy should not be in our conference either. I wish the teams I wish were in our conference.
West Virginia.
I wish West Virginia. I wish if they're going to pillage the ACC.
Clemson?
No, I don't think Clemson can sustain their success. They don't have a big NIL collective.
NC State?
And they're small. No, but I would go get Duke, Carolina. I'd get Duke and North Carolina. Because who cares?
Both of them?
Yeah. You got the biggest basketball rival in the game. So you would have.
Oh, you're looking at more than football.
Well, I don't think we need to look at football anymore. Is my point. I think Duke, Carolina, and Kentucky, and Tennessee being a top 10 program now in the same conference, and Alabama now.
It's a lot of blue, Jamie.
It's a lot of blue bloods we'd be up against. Well, the thing is, I don't think, because everybody talks about we got Missouri, and I understand A&M getting into the Texas market, and now we got Texas. I understand Oklahoma, but even though neither of them technically are southeastern schools.
No.
Missouri makes no sense. People are like, well, you want to get into that St. Louis market. Gambling is legal now. Gambling is legal. We don't need to worry about getting into TV markets. We're the Southeastern Conference. Everybody who will ever gamble on an app, online or anything, is going to, no matter who's playing, watch SEC football. It's going to be the biggest. They're going to gamble on SEC sports, so they're going to tune into SEC sports. With legalized gambling, you shouldn't have to worry about the TV market anymore. TV is sort of going the way of radio now that everything's streaming.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So get Duke and North Carolina makes you the best college basketball program or conference, bar none. Get Duke, North Carolina, get West Virginia, because West Virginia is a smaller program, but it feels SEC. If you follow their fan base at all, the whole thing feels SEC. I'd love for Missouri to go back to the Big 12. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, they don't. Their program doesn't feel the same.
No, it doesn't feel SEC.
Like the school, their traditions and stuff are more.
Yeah, and they'll say, well, you're just sour grapes because we laid a whooping on you back last season. And I have no sour grapes of that at all. I have sour grapes with their coach going up to Heupel at the handshake and saying that stupid stuff about we stand on business. Nobody's ever explained to me what that saying means, by the by. But
stand on business.
And he's a little nerd up there. I mean, I don't need Missouri in the SEC. I would love Duke, Carolina, because that's SEC territory.
Why don't we just draw the line at the Mississippi?
As far as westward?
No, for the conference. Anything east.
Yeah.
Mississippi, schools.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. But
Florida schools.
But the fact that we're in Texas, I feel like that will help. Not so much TV or anything, but overall recruiting in the conference.
Think about how many states teams are in the conference.
Oh, my gosh.
Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi.
Well, look at the ACC. The ACC now has Stanford.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
What says Atlantic Coast Conference
more than California?
More than the Pacific Coast. The Pacific Northwest, mind you. Jog on with that garbage.
How do these teams even play? They got to fly across the country?
Are you telling me the female soccer teams, any non-revenue sports for these schools are going to be able to sustain the money it takes to travel to Stanford?
Well, I mean, not even think about the money. Think about how it affects the athletes.
Oh, gosh. It'd be terrible. So let's if they're going to do this to the ACC, let's dissolve the ACC. Give me Duke, Carolina. Give me Florida State out of there. Give me West Virginia. I'll trade the Big 12, West Virginia, for Missouri. So that's adding 4 teams right there that will boost our exposure tenfold. I'd much rather.
I don't want Florida State.
I don't want Miami. So if we're going to go into another school in Florida, I say Florida State. Or I would take, even though I think it'd be a step down from Florida State, ironically, even though the game that just happened, Georgia Tech was an original.
Oh, yeah.
SEC. And
Southern Conference.
I'd take that.
The Rambling Wreck.
I'd take that. And I don't want to hear this mess from all these schools. Well, we don't want 2 schools in our state. jog on with that, we've had to have Vandy, Alabama's, and Auburn's in the same state. Mississippi State's in the same state. Who is South Carolina to demand? Not that I want Clemson. Who's South Carolina to demand that we don't?
Wait, we've got Texas and A&M now too.
Yeah, who's South Carolina to demand they don't want somebody else in the same state? Who's Georgia? Even though they're doing well right now, that's new money. Who wants Georgia to dictate that they don't want a second team to say? Who's Florida to dictate that? They were established in 1990. Who
was
Florida? They weren't good until 1990. Until they got Spurrier. That's why they're new money. I mean, if all the old money programs in the Southeastern Conference, i.e. the Tennessees, the Alabamas, and whatnot, is fine with having Auburn, even though Auburn is old money also, then who are the rest of these schools? Like Kentucky trying to say, well, we don't want LSU, or we don't want Louisville in the conference.
What difference does that make?
Yeah, what difference is it? Because they don't want the competition recruiting.
Oh, for the state recruiting.
Yeah, and but
I don't think Vandy counts.
There was a time Vandy counted, though. You know, the whole reason we got King Johnny Majors was it Johnny or was it no? I think the whole reason we got Neyland because we couldn't beat Vandy, and so that's going back a fair piece.
It's going back a little bit.
Yeah, but Vandy used to be a dominant force in the league.
Well, a lot of things have changed.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, I hate to tell you, but our time is up.
That's fine. I'm hungry. There's college football tonight.
Who's playing tonight?
Colorado against North Dakota State.
Prime time?
Coach Prime keeping reporters from asking questions because he's butt hurt.
I have so many things I could say.
Oh gosh, he's the biggest.
You know what I really like about Coach Prime? His new appearance in the DirecTV commercial as a pigeon.
Yeah. Now I do like some stances. Coach Prime, Coach Sanders says, like as far as a lot of people are getting on to him when he said he's looking for a quarterback that comes from a 2-parent home. It's like, I get that. I mean, don't say it out loud.
Wait, he wants a player that's teachable and coachable?
Yeah, that's been raised in a nuclear family. But
wait, there are statistics.
Yeah, they exist for a reason. So I do like some of the stuff he says, but when he gets real sensitive to what the media says, it's like, that's the media's job is to kind of call you to the fold on things and
act like a grown-up.
Don't get a guy banned from his livelihood because you're too sensitive.
Yeah, you don't like what he said.
Yeah, screw that.
It's called an opinion.
Yeah.
You don't have to like it.
I guarantee you the guy that did it was a beat writer. Beat writers are opinionated. Reporters try to remain neutral. But if you're a beat writer, you're supposed, like John Adams in our area, you're supposed to fire up readers. You're supposed to be disliked in a lot of things. But
yeah, it's journalism.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get out of here. I got high school football tonight to watch also.
How are you going to get it all in?
I'm not. I'm going to fall asleep early and sleep through all of it probably. I go into this with great hopes and I fall short.
What, are you going to have dinner?
Yeah, I'm going to have dinner.
It's regretful we missed out on lunch.
I'm very hungry right now.
Although you got to escape the office to get lunch.
I got a pack of crackers and chocolate milk. Chocolate milk. All right. Are you going to shut it down? We got a routine here, man. I can't shut it down.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us again. Hopefully you enjoyed the show.
Sorry if I talked too much.
Look for some changes in the studio coming up.
Oh, God.
Exciting things.
Green things.
Who knows? It could be. I don't know.
The shadow
always spice it up a little bit and maybe work on the lighting. All right?
I like the lighting.
Well, I hope you enjoy your football tonight.
I hope you enjoy yourn.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Later. What?